In order to get to the rear speakers, you need to remove this third brake light. Don't start taking loose the third brake light because it's bolted in, unfortunately. There's two 8mm bolts that has to be removed. There's one on the right side, and there's another one on the left side that you gotta remove. And if you look further over, the speaker is on the other side of the 8mm screw. Alright, on the speakers, before you pull them out, there are connectors. You need to remove them first. This is the right speaker. This is the connector for the right speaker. And it's going to be the same for the left speaker as well. All what this is a tab. You press down the middle and it comes out. That's all you got to do. Flip the rear seats forward. And the way you go by doing that, there's a button you press. Press this button to flip the seats forward. Take a loose this screw and this screw and this screw. So all three of these screws need to be removed and put away. And I'm going to come back to this cover later. You need to take the chairs loose, the rear seats. There's some bolts down there you need to remove. There's two bolts down there. So you need to take these loose as well. And on the end, those two down there. This one and this one. You might run to a rusted screw, especially like this car I'm working on. Spray some WD-40 before you start even taking it loose. It helps out a lot. And tap on it with a hammer a little bit, and you should be good. The easiest way to remove these rusted bolts you're going to have to put some pressure on it when you turn it. So push the seat down and put a lot of pressure on it and then turn it like that. And you do the same with that other bolt. There's one last thing you need to do for the thigh room on these rear seats. There is a button. Press. Press and hold. Press down and hold it, and the seats come up. Now do the one on the other side. All those bolts you had already taken out, and even pressing that button to lift the thigh room seat up, you should be able to take the rear seats out. It's only the one that supports the thigh room. You should be able to take that out. This is the last thing you need to take loose. There's one bolt down there. There's one there. And on this side, there's one bolt there. After you move that bolt, this part is easy. Just pull it right on up. Okay, finally, we can remove this third brake light. Pull up on it lightly. Take this harness loose. Put this third brake light aside. This cover for the speakers. Pull up on it and pull it towards you. Voila. I highly recommend using a 10mm socket. It's time for this speaker to go bye-bye. Guide the cover back in these holes. There's one behind the speaker. There's one there, here, and behind the speaker. As for this brake light, do the harness first. Put this harness back together first before you start putting this back in. Go ahead and start putting all these screws back together. That goes to this cover. All of them. Do all of them. These are real simple. All you do, see this hook here? Slide it back on. Slide it back on this. And put the seat belt back around. Don't forget to bolt it back in. Reinstalling the rear seat, the thigh room for the rear seats and the back seat is easy, but when it comes down to rebolting it, it's a little complicated and it takes some thinking, to figure out. So just pay attention to what I'm doing. Tilt the seat back. You need to tilt the seat back. Tilt it back some and hand tight it in there. Here's the bolt. That's how the bolt's gonna look, and that's where you need to put it at. You need to hand tight it first. I'm gonna come back to this and I'm gonna tell you why. And as far as these hooks go, this bolt, you want it in between this whole entire hook as much as possible. You want it in there as much as possible. Don't leave the bolt bolted in looking like this. The bolt and the hook, they ain't supposed to be neck and neck. It's supposed to look similar to what's going on the right side over here. See how the hook is far apart and that bolt is touching the seat? On the right side, you can open it up and it will go back down. Can't do that over here on the left side because the hook is right on the bolt, and what that do is that leaves this off track. There's a big gap. I'm trying to get to where y'all can see it, but there is a big gap right here, and you can raise it up when you want to, but it ain't going down because it's way off track. So check this out. So pull it all the way up. Pull it all the way up like that. You want that hook straight up like that. And now you're ready to bolt it in. You can bolt it in now. As far as this left side, it's in there. So just keep raising the seat up if you have to. Pull it all the way up and have that hook as far away from that bolt as possible, and have that bolt as close to the seat. These are adjustable. You need to get them back in here on the seat here. You need to get these back where they needs to be, and there's a way you can do that, and that's by bringing it up close some and tilting it back. And bolt it back in. Both the right side seat with this same adjustable, it goes in the exact same way. Put these bolts back in for this left chair, and do the same for the right. Make some adjustments if you have to get the bolts back in. hand tight it back in, and rebolt it. And after you're done, flip the seats back up. I got 2 other videos I'm gonna do on the Hyundai Sonata, and on my next video I'm gonna move on to the Lexus. I'll turn back around. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.